From Fred House Studios in Farmersville, California, it's Garbage Time Points with Mike.
In California, I'm like a 2. Alaska, though, I might be like an 8.
And Rick.
Let me get a t-shirt. Short, sweet, and slutty.
A Wizard Fart production.
This is Manny Pacquiao.
And now, here's Mike and Rick.
All right, everybody. Welcome back for another episode of Garbage Time Points with Mike and Rick. I am Mike, your Fantasy Football Hall of Famer. This is Rick. I don't know, Rick was playing peekaboo with me right now. I'm not sure what he was doing.
You couldn't see me.
Yeah. Better when you play sucker, dude.
No, you're better.
like that game.
You're way better at that than I am.
You trying to pass it off now?
No, you're trying to pass it off.
You're on the cover of the box.
Better.
You're on the cover of the box, dude.
You invented the game.
You're the Monopoly man of the game,
dude.
Yeah, do not pass go without sucking some dick. That's yours. Yes.
Always.
Reinforce that joke. And, of course, the guy across the table from us is Fredo. How you doing today, Fredo?
I'm doing pretty good.
Were you expecting it right now?
What?
Hawaiian name? Did you think Hawaiian name was coming right now?
No.
Because I looked up to start to say, like, you know, here's Fredo, and then I saw, like, a little, like, he started doing a little grin, like he thought maybe I was going to say it, but no, we'll just keep that to one show.
I had a comeback for that, too.
Did you?
Mm-hmm.
Well, too bad. We're never going to find out what it is.
Oh,
Nope.
man.
Is it a comeback for, like, me saying it to you, or is it to me, or is it just anybody can say it to you?
We'll never know.
Because I'm still waiting to see if there's, like, anybody who listens to the show who says it. I haven't heard anybody say it to you yet.
No.
Nope.
Yeah.
Don't expect anybody to do.
I thought it was damn good, too. I mean, I'm not telling you guys you should, but I mean, like, you guys should start using that nickname.
Nope.
The name?
Yeah.
Nope.
It's pretty good. Anyways, though, you can follow us on Twitter at GTP Mike and Rick, at Michael_Gaspar, at Richard_Raposa, at Have Zero, and at GTP Podcast. Go there for all your hot FanDuel takes.
Hot take.
Hot FanDuel takes. You can look for us on Facebook. Search Garbage Time Points. We are on iTunes as well. Go listen to us there. And also go visit gtppodcast.com. You'll find our show there, my weekly Sit, Start, and Sneaky. And also the guys from the Pod Express put their show there. We'll be talking with Mike from the Pod Express after we get done with our fantasy football segment. Hit on some Survivor Series because that just happened this weekend. So, yeah, we'll get to that. Look, we're going to do a condensed show because something that I noticed and remembered today was that shows of Thanksgiving past never really did that well.
Shows of Thanksgiving past.
And so, yeah, we're going to do a shorter show. We're just going to do some fantasy football talk. And if that's all you came for, you can go ahead and turn it off after that because then we're going to be talking to Mike. But I hope you don't turn it off, man. I hope that you like wrestling, too, like we do, because we like wrestling.
Like it a lot.
And we'll talk it with him because I'm sure he's got some thoughts about this past weekend show. Do you have any thoughts about this past weekend show? Don't say it right now, Rick. I was just asking you. I just wanted to see. You started making a face like you did, so I was like, okay, I know he's got something.
Yeah.
Fredo, he's doing what Fredo does.
Who cares?
No, you care, Fredo. You were tweeting about it.
I was.
You were tweeting about it.
Was.
Tweeting, even though he told us he wasn't going to watch it.
Yeah, I ended up watching it.
Yeah, he did. It's all good, though. Hey, all right, real quick, before we start jumping into fantasy football, GTP FanDuel contest. 13 people again, so we're pretty much stuck on that. We would have had 14, but
who won this week?
We're gonna get to it right now. Okay. First of all, our winner, Queerbait.
Hey, good job.
No. I mean the same person, but Rick, good job, man. You put up. I don't know if you put up a lot of points compared to other
Winners Pass
contests.
Winners
No,
Pass.
I'm not talking like for this one. I'm talking about because last week you can kind of gauge it playing in other ones, but I think you put up like 143.
Yeah,
143 means I love you, though.
143, I love you.
Can someone explain to me why that means I love you?
I have no idea.
Fredo, do you know that?
Mm-mm.
You're emoji
guy.
guy.
I just thought of it right now.
Huh?
What?
You knew it. No, Rick knew it. Okay, go ahead.
1, I love, LOVE 4, 3.
Oh, you knew it, Rick. You didn't just think of it right now.
I swear, I had no idea.
I've never known Rick as a riddles guy. Rick's never been like, I just solved the riddles.
That is true, but I just got it right now.
Yeah, no, you knew it.
Why would I lie about it?
Because you didn't want to jump in all
it.
fast about it and be like, because tonight is the night that to become one. That's how you're getting ready to jump.
I know my calculus.
Yeah. Fucking beautiful mind. 1, 4, 3, 1 I 4 L.
I swear.
He was like that scene.
I swear.
Yeah. He was like the Hangover where all the equations are going.
But it was just cheeseburgers and pizza and wings.
If you get a chance, I don't know if you want to, I think you will because you like doing funny stuff like this. Take that GIF or GIF and put Rick's face in there instead of that dude where it shows all the equations going past his face and everything. That's what Rick did right now, even though he did it because he knew it right away.
You're so
He had
dumb.
the twinkle and the sparkle when he did it.
You're so dumb.
You're such an idiot.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, but so Rick
Exactly.
won. Rick won. He had a good weekend.
Yes.
I let you in just so I could feel you on top of me.
Yeah.
Oh, talk to me.
Going on to our page 2 losers, we have Jordan, the dude with the star. Still have no idea who that is. And second week in a row, Valdez though.
You're a loser.
Sorry guys, or girls. Jordan could be a girl.
Could be. Who's it, Jordan Sparks? I'm thinking.
Because I don't want to say this because it might get Rick going again. I don't know if you remember saying this. Rick says he likes girls with guys' names.
Yeah. Girls, like a girl with like Danny as her name.
Like Danny with an I?
Yeah.
My brother's name is Danny. What does that make you feel?
Doesn't make me feel anything.
Oh, sorry. His name's Daniel now.
There's a lot of people with a lot of different names. Like how many people named?
So your dream.
Okay, there's that meme out there. Everybody knows a douchebag named Mike.
Yeah.
Okay, like
so your dream. You asked me like, wouldn't you want to date? How would you feel about dating somebody named Michelle? And I said, I don't know. I guess whatever.
It was just like,
so your dream was to date a girl named Ricky, like Rikki?
Yeah, that's cool.
All right.
Robin.
Frida.
Alex. Fuck you.
That's just a girl's name. I just fucked it up. I just messed it up because it was a girl's name. I don't know. I was just looking at Fredo. I was like, what goes with Fredo? I was like, no, that's not the point. Yeah, whatever. All right, hey.
I don't think there's anything wrong with
Yeah.
it.
Nah, I'm just, whatever. It's funny.
Yeah.
And finally, in last place, Cesar.
Le who? The her.
Sorry, buddy, but you were in last place. I think you only scored like 50 points.
Wow.
I was heading there. I went with a heavy Raider dosage in this weekend. It didn't work out for me. It did not work out for me.
Yeah, like you just made it a big deal. Like you were looking at your phone, like, oh my god, and I was like, what's going on?
Yeah.
You're like, I have a lot of guys in the Patriot and Raider game. And I was just like, wow, you made that big of a deal for that.
I made it feel like there was an emergency going on. Like another, like who has that reaction to a mass shooting anymore? They happen all the time. But it was something similar to that, and it just turned out I had a lot of people from that game on my team. All right. So we're going to skip past all the frills, everything that we put into our show. No cute animal fact. I know that's going to disappoint some of you guys out there. You're probably going to turn it off just because I said it.
No.
Quick hits. Don't have any for you. Sorry.
Fuck.
But let's just go ahead and jump right into fantasy football. So, Fredo, can we get that? Now let's talk some fantasy.
Wolfball.
I always forget that's at the end.
I'd say no hockey minute, but we forgot that last week too. So it doesn't even matter.
But see, I kind of like forgetting because you can't forget it on purpose. But when we really do truly forget it, like sad Rick reading it is good. But then Fredo just like because he has no idea who they are. His name's Thompson. What are you doing?
And he had to read my chicken scratch. Like,
Yeah.
Has anybody seen my writing? Like,
Yeah.
It's terrible. I can't even read
Yeah,
it.
it's bad. Fredo, sad music. We need a little sad music right now.
All right.
It was a bad week.
So the injury report. Kelvin Benjamin, he goes down with a knee injury. Said not to be too serious, but he's going to miss a couple games. They were fearing an ACL, but it turns out it wasn't. It's just like a really bad sprain right now.
For right now. But
Yeah,
we'll
for
see,
right now.
Like, as he continues to play.
But yeah, so he's going to be out for a couple weeks.
Panthers knew something.
Yeah. Robert Woods, I guess he avoided serious injury. I just saw it right now. They said that he's going to be out for a couple games. Who knows what that means? Could be the rest of the year.
Yeah,
in a sling to leave the game. But it was kind of weird because they carted him off the field for a shoulder injury.
He might not have been able to just, like... Because those shoulder injuries are painful. Like, they're painful.
But the real men, they get up and walk off the field. Richard Sherman had a torn Achilles. That's a man.
Cool.
Yeah. Chris Thompson, man, I didn't see that injury. Like, we weren't on that game, mostly because Fredo was in charge of the remote and he didn't put it on it.
No, we were on that game.
Oh, did we? Or maybe I just wasn't paying attention. Yesterday, I remember a lot from yesterday, and I'm not saying I was thinking or anything, but I was pretty high.
They were fixed on one of the games.
Yeah, but yeah. That's true. That's so I didn't see it, but I actually saw the injury today, and man, that did not look good at all, man.
It was a broken fibula.
Yeah. Yeah,
Tibia or fibula?
Yeah, one of those T's or F's or whatever.
one
of those bones.
Like
I guess I just could have said
bone.
But yeah, what else am I missing? I feel like I'm missing something else. I think that's pretty much it, right? Just those three?
There was somebody else, but yeah.
Those were like the three big ones with fantasy implications on it.
Fantasy?
Yeah. But yeah, that's going to hurt some teams out there.
I mean, for me, the Chris Thompson one hurts, and he's fallen off a little bit. He hasn't been doing what he did before, but in PPR, he's still been producing 10 to 15 points weekly. He's still been an RB2 flex, must start weekly.
Well, probably for you personally, but I'm more concerned of what it's going to do to someone like Jared Goff because that was his safety blanket, Robert Woods.
Definitely.
And they formed a little connection, and that's when the offense really started to take off. Was when he found Robert Woods.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have to wait and see what happens with him and the rest of that squad. They have talented guys on that team, but he really liked Robert Woods.
Well, and somebody had asked me, like, was it Buffalo? Like, basically, was he talented this whole time, or is it the scheme? And I think it was Buffalo. Plus, he has this new scheme now. But he always was a productive player in Buffalo.
Yeah. It's not like he had terrible games. Like he was a good spot start when you needed somebody. It's like you could pick Robert Woods off in Buffalo and put him in your lineup for a bye week and hope for the best. And sometimes he would deliver, and sometimes he didn't. But I mean, he went back home, playing with that little bit extra, not playing up in those cold conditions in Buffalo.
And Jared Goff plays in his strengths. He plays in a 15 yards and in type place where he puts it in a place where he could break, get those yards after contact, yards after catch, and break one,
Yeah. All right, so let's jump into it. Waiver wire. Here's a couple names you might want to consider. Ryan Fitzmagic. Rick's boy called him the spark plug, and what do you know? They came out and won a game. Yeah. Who knows if that lasts?
Didn't they win last week too?
Oh, they beat the Jets. That's right. In that sloppy game. But he didn't perform in that game. He didn't spark plug it.
Yeah. But because it was rainy and everything. Yeah. I'm telling you, he was the right fit for them.
Came out, did some things. Josh McCown, they are off of a bye week. He's been doing some things. I know he had a bad game against Tampa Bay, but other than that, he's been productive. You could put him in there. I know the bye weeks are done, so you probably don't have to worry about it. But sometimes you just got to play the matchups.
But
Tyrod Taylor. I don't know why I would tell you to pick him up other than five interceptions. That's all we got to say. Nathan Peterson, 5 interceptions.
Peterman.
Whatever. See, that's how much it means. 5 interceptions first half.
That's not bad for his first time?
That's bad.
That's really bad.
Yeah, that's bad.
Really
For his first time.
Fred's like, he tried, though.
Yeah. Glass half full over here. At running back, how about Devontae Booker? They started giving him a lot of run in this last game. CJ just hasn't been cutting it. They, for some reason, have decided they don't want to hand the ball to Jamal Charles. And Devontae Booker kind of took over and had himself a nice little game.
Devontae Foreman.
Oh, Deontay Foreman, yeah.
Deontay Foreman.
Yeah, that's right. He went down.
Torn Achilles.
Yep.
Ouch.
Damian Williams, he's good for at least one run a game, and he gave you one last game. So you can go out there and roster him. He's there. Or Kenyon Drake, whichever one. I mean, I just wrote down Jamal Williams because he's a starter. but I really don't recommend you picking him up because that offense is a mess.
He was the only highlight of that, or him and Devontae Adams were the two highlights.
Yeah, Devontae Adams. Austin Eckler continues to do things. You got to pick. I wouldn't necessarily say that Gordon is slowing down. I think they just like what they have in Eckler.
Well, I think that they realized that they can't give Gordon 25, 30
Here's 40 touches. Go out and
yeah.
have fun.
No,
you know?
he's going to break down. Like, they got to limit his touches.
Yep. Samaje Perine, Rick's boy.
He looked good.
He's plotting. He's a plotter, but he gave him 123 yards, I believe it was, after Chris Thompson went down. It looks like it's his backfield now. There's nobody else there with him. I mean, Rob Kelly's on IR now. It's really just him, and I don't even know who their fourth running back is. Do you know?
Oh, man. No.
I can't, off the top of my head, I don't know. Deion Lewis, as these past 2 games, is putting up points.
Yeah.
I really thought it was going to be a Rex Burkhead game, and then he fumbled his opportunity away, like you were saying. Once you get that fumble for Bill Belichick, it takes a little bit to get back in his good graces.
When he started out, it being his game.
Yeah, it looked like it was going to be, and then that little fumble. And Alex Collins, he's the lead dog right now in Baltimore. And why he's out there on waiver wire, I don't know. But go out there and pick him up. Corey Coleman, he's a Brown, yes, but they put up some numbers. Kenny Stills, especially if Matt Moore plays, because Matt Moore loved him some Kenny Stills. Jamison Crowder, he's up and down this year. Kind of trending up a little bit right now with Kirk Cousins playing a little bit better.
Let's see.
Mike Wallace had a touchdown last week. I don't know, just threw a name out there for him. Bruce Ellington. Tom Savage likes him, man. Tom Savage likes him some Bruce Ellington.
Let's Bruce
right there in the slot. He was looking for him a lot, so go out there and pick him up. I hate when Fredo looks at me like that when I'm talking, man, because I know he's just taking in all the information. That's why I got to put out some little whatever's on him. Got to try to throw him off. I think it worked last week, and I beat you. Yeah. Josh Doxson. He's the top dog now in Washington. He made a couple nice catches. It was like 4 for 81, but he spreads the ball around a lot up there with Kirk Cousins. So, I don't know. He's hot and he's cold. He's yes and he's no sometimes.
Byron Marshall.
And who?
Byron Marshall.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Cooper Kupp, especially now with Robert Woods being out, he's going to be a nice little pickup. He's out there. He's available. At tight end, you got Adam Shaheen. You don't know who he is? I'll tell you later. O.J. Howard. This could just be a fluke week for him. Is this what he is now?
They got a lot of mouths.
1 week, off week. Yeah, it could be. Greg Olsen. I don't know if anybody dropped him in your league, but if they did, go out and pick him up. He's coming back. He's Cam's guy. That's his boy. Charles Clay. Only if Tyrod gets the job.
Yes.
If Tyrod gets the job, Charles Clay all the way. And here's your
speaking in rhyme the whole time.
Here's your little sneaky pickup of the week because we didn't even know who he was.
Oh,
Ricky Seals-Jones.
Ricky Seals-Jones,
the tight end for the Arizona Cardinals, out of nowhere, scores 2 touchdowns with Blaine Gabbert back there.
He probably works with them, and that's why he's out there.
That's probably why. But especially in dynasty leagues, why not pick the guy up and see what he has?
Not?
He has
give him a run.
He looks good. He looks like one of those athletic wide receiver
Ricky
tight ends.
Seals-Jones.
Yeah, so we'll see about Ricky Seals-Jones. Keep an eye on him. I'm not telling you to go pick him up in redraft leagues.
He averaged 12 points in fantasy football.
Wow. All right, let's move on. Sit, start, sneaky plays of the week. Let's run through these. Rick, who are you sitting at quarterback?
Josh McCown playing the Panthers.
Panthers. Yeah. No reason?
That's why.
All right. I'm saying sit Derek Carr. It's not been a good year. I thought that they would have a good week. Yeah, who was that?
I don't know.
But yeah, coming off a bye, they couldn't even put up numbers against the Patriots defense that has just been kind of gashed this year. Derek Carr is not looking good. Todd Dowling really hurts that offense. I am just so disappointed in that offense right now, man. So disappointed. All right, who are you starting next week?
Kirk Cousins. It's on Thanksgiving, and they're playing the Giants on primetime, baby. This is his time to shine. He's put up 30 points the last 2 weeks, and he's ready to bone them.
McAdoo's boys, though.
You like that?
Got the pep talk.
He doesn't give a shit.
They got the pep talk.
He doesn't give a shit.
I'm going with Matt Ryan. He's been heating up. 20 points in 3 of the past 4 weeks. Gets the Bucks coming to town. They're a get-right game. And as far as I know, he's throwing a touchdown tonight. So who knows? Of course, that's against the Seahawks with their, I don't even know. You can't even call them Legion of Boom anymore.
We're not.
Because the Legion of Backups.
Yeah. The Legion of who? Yeah. All right, who's your sneaky play?
Andy Dalton's. They're playing the Cleveland Browns at Cincinnati. A nice friendly game for him. Should put up 2 touchdowns, so 250 yards. If he gets that third one, it'd be a nice capper. But 2 touchdowns, 250, I think is a nice, easy day for him.
I'm saying Jared Goff. Rough week last week against the Vikings. But they get to go home. They play a Saints defense. They're missing some people now, man. People are getting hurt on that defense, and they just lost Alex Okafor. So he's going to have a little bit of time back there in the pocket. Even though he lost Robert Woods, I still like Goff.
Good for you.
Yeah. Who you sitting at running back?
Marshawn Lynch. I mean, you could do it for all the Raiders running backs. I think the offense is just pretty much put. And they're playing Denver.
True. I'm saying Joe Mixon. Like, I'm still on record, and I will continue to say this, that he is the best running back from this rookie class. But on that team, with that offensive line, I just do not see it happening. And the Browns, as bad as they are, they're actually pretty good against the run. So I would be sitting Joe Mixon this week. Who you starting?
Lamar Miller. I was a little bit worried about him the last couple of weeks without Deshaun. How would that offense look? He's still getting his num-nums.
Yeah. Talked about him a little bit earlier. Well, not really talked about him, but whatever. I mentioned him. Deion Lewis. Thought last week was Rex Burkhead's day. It was not. But Deion Lewis, the past 2 games, putting up 15-plus fantasy points in PPR leagues. And they get the Dolphins. They give the 10th most points to running backs in fantasy football. So go ahead and get him in there. Who's your sneaky?
Theoretic Thanksgiving, and they are playing Minnesota, but I figure they're going to probably be down. They're going to be throwing the ball a lot. It's going to be Theo's. It's going to be Theo's time to shine. Everybody, and this is kind of my. You're always worried about playing guys on Thursday night games typically, but this is Thanksgiving.
Yeah, Thanksgiving's different.
You want to play your guys
because there's more than one game. I think you feel better about it because there's more than one game going on.
Yeah, and more because they know everybody's watching. It's a holiday. They come to play, and some guys might not, but it might be some guy having 3 touchdowns that day. He's getting his extra num-nums instead of it being spread around. He's just getting extra stuff.
Yeah. I'm going with Corey Clement. He is doing what I thought Wendell Small would be doing, and that's filling in for Darren Sproles. 7 touchdowns this year, and he's getting a lot of red zone snaps.
Yeah.
They play the Bears this coming up week, and the Bears give up the 11th most points to running backs. So Corey Clement, I like him. I played him last week. I was pretty happy about that, even though I got my ass kicked by my brother, Danny. Oh, I shouldn't say Danny. You like those names.
Get me turned down.
Wide receiver. Who are you sitting at wide receiver?
Jermaine Kearse. He hasn't really been playing very well the last few weeks. He's actually been down because Robbie Anderson's been getting more of the run.
Mm-hmm.
And again, they're playing Carolina.
Jordy Nelson.
Okay, you're Mr. Captain Obvious.
Yeah. What, is it Captain Obvious?
Yeah, you are.
People still put him in their lineups.
People still put him in because that's what they have.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Take him out. I would even say cut him at this point.
T.Y. Hilton.
Good. In redraft leagues, yeah. No. Why not?
Yeah.
All right, who you starting?
Marvin Jones, again, Thanksgiving, and they're playing.
Man, you love you some Thanksgiving.
I love Thanksgiving guys, man. I love Thanksgiving guys. Go.
That was it?
Marvin Jones.
I'm saying Emmanuel Sanders didn't have a good week against the Bengals, but they have a get-right game against, that's right, you guessed it, the Raiders. And the Raiders, Swiss cheese defense. So, Emmanuel Sanders. Actually, I would say him and Demaryius Thomas. Playing both.
Demaryius has actually been outplaying him for a while now.
For one game. All right, sneaky. Yeah, wow. Sneaky play. Who you got?
Your butt cheeks.
Oh, no, they're always loud and proud, baby. Loud and proud.
Kenny Stills. Yeah.
That's it?
Kenny Stills.
All right, I'm saying Mohamed Sanu. It's kind of like a rotating, revolving door, I should say, between Sanu, Hooper, and Gabriel. as to who gets like the second most looks, and I'm saying that it's going to be Sanu against the Bucks. It could be everybody because it's the Bucks, but I'm saying Mohamed Sanu is a nice, sneaky play. Who are you sitting at tight end?
Cameron Brate. Cameron Brate. Yeah, him.
Connor Brate. I'm sitting Hunter Henry. Man, he just hasn't lived up to the hype. And he just gets lost in the shuffle, especially with like everybody getting healthy around there. Mike Williams coming back. Keenan Allen starting to do Keenan Allen things again after a couple games of not doing that. Antonio Gates continuing to just get targets, even though he's old, but still kind of puts up numbers sometimes, but not really. Mm-hmm. So until he proves he can do it consistently, I can't recommend you play Hunter Henry, man, because it's just too much of a risk.
Yep.
Who are you starting?
Vernon Davis. They are playing the Giants on Thanksgiving. And that's
gobble gobble.
I know, right?
And he's gonna get his num nums.
Yeah, okay.
Everybody gets their num nums on Thanksgiving.
Rick's grinders. They're dudes Rick wants to grind on.
That's a long list.
Yeah. I'm starting Jared Cook. The offense is not playing well, but he seems to be the only consistent thing on it. And the Broncos, as good as they are against the pass, are really bad against tight ends. They give up the second most points to tight ends. So I think he has a nice little game this week. And finally, who is your sneaky tight end play?
My sneaky is Julius Thomas. They're playing the Patriots. So that's very sneaky.
Very sneaky. All right, I'm saying Adam Shaheen. Mentioned him earlier. He's got his opportunity to start the past 2 weeks. He's caught all 6 of his targets for 80 yards and a touchdown. Mitchell Trubisky's actually starting to look like an NFL quarterback these past couple of weeks. And the Eagles are giving up the 7th most points to tight ends, so he might be a nice little play for you people out there.
I'm starting him.
Do it. He's actually my garbage time points player of the week, which means he's going to get you some garbage time points.
What?
And lots of them.
Oh, you hear that?
Yeah.
Like, you know that one, like...
Fucking Michael Winslow over here.
You know that one, that sounder? That...
Yeah, I know. I got it the first time, Rick.
Oh.
You know what that sound is?
Shut up, man.
All right, hey.
Bitches.
If that's all you came for was fantasy football, you can go ahead and stop listening now. But what we're going to do now, we're going to give a call. We're going to talk to Mike from the Pod Express, and we're going to talk some Survivor Series. So let's go ahead and do that. Get him on. Hear what he has to say. Yeah.
This call is brought to you by Skype.
Russell Wilson.
It's so dumb, dude. Hey, all right. On with this right now is Mike from the Podcast Express. You can follow them on Twitter at the Pod Express. He's at Get Up Mike, and there's also at Joe Gilbert 1992. So first of all, before we get into anything, guys, I just thought that I should let you know that, I just found this out recently, a couple days ago, that we have officially made the list of Gilberto.
Oh.
Who gives a shit, man? He's got some beef, and my beef with Mike's beef is that he has beef with me and Rick, even though it was Fredo. It was Fredo that took credit for the Oscar De La Hoya thing.
What?
And Mike wants credit for Oscar De La Hoya, Conor McGregor talk, and he feels like he didn't get enough of it from us.
Oh,
well, I'm the one that brought it up first. I brought it up on our show, and and if you remember at the beginning of our last show, I played previously on the Podcast Express, and I played the whole clip where I come up with the idea that Oscar De La Hoya was talking all that shit in order to get a fight with Conor McGregor.
Yeah. No, I totally agree with you, but I feel like this had been brought up before. Like, you didn't break some story. You just rehashed the story.
I predicted it months ago. I just want credit for my accurate prediction as well.
Fredo, do you want to give it to him? Because were you the one that didn't do it?
What?
Because he wanted some acknowledgement. Like, he wanted us to love him for it.
Oh,
yeah.
I saw him a mile away. It's only setting him up for a match with some no-name boxer who's, like, not even boxing, just to make money.
See, I get the impression that Mike thought we were going to, like, do our show, only we weren't going to talk about anything else. We were going to talk about his awesome prediction about Oscar De La Hoya and Conor McGregor.
I think that would have been a better show than what you guys had. Yeah.
Recently, probably, but hey, you know what? We're sorry. Anything to get us off the list of Gilberto, man.
Yeah. Well, you're off the list, but you can go back on at any moment. So be careful.
Yeah, I'm not too worried about it. It's Rick. It's Rick. I'm worried about. You know, he's fragile
I'm a
when
wild
it comes
card.
to that stuff. So we got to worry about him. All right, man. So it's been a while since we talked. Just we've had all this shit going on, but we had Survivor Series this past Sunday. And before we get into like any of the matches and stuff, can I just ask you, can Braun Strowman do no wrong at this point?
I don't think that he can. I think he's the guy, man. He's the star. I think they're just going to strap the rocket to Braun, and then he's going to be he'll be your next Hulk Hogan and John Cena. He's probably got to clean up a little bit his appearance, but other than that, I think he's the guy, and I think they showed it last night at Survivor Series, the way they ended the show.
Yeah, but I have a feeling that they're going to kind of go. They won't go the Bray Wyatt route as far as he doesn't need a title. But the Undertaker never really needed the title, but they put it on him sometimes. So when you say John Cena, Hulk Hogan, I don't see it going to that level where they're like, all right, we need to make sure that this guy has the title at least once a year. Am I wrong for thinking that?
No, I don't think that you're wrong. You're right. He probably doesn't need a title, but the fact that they have 2 world titles essentially, I think Roman Reigns is your big star on one brand and he's the champion, and on the other one, it's Braun Strowman. It's kind of like John Cena and Randy Orton. Now it's Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman. I think that Braun goes to SmackDown eventually and becomes the guy there.
Yeah.
Whether he's the champ or not, he will always be the main event. Is kind of what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
So is he going to have so if you predict him going to SmackDown, is he going to have those feuds against AJ Styles? Is he going to be clashing against him for superiority over the brand, or is AJ Styles going to Raw at that point?
No, so my prediction is that unfortunately I think Jinder Mahal gets the title back, and then Braun Strowman squashes Jinder Mahal in 3 minutes. And then you move forward with Braun Strowman as the main event guy, and then you could have a number of challengers come up against him. AJ could be one of those guys. You got Randy Orton, obviously, John Cena, whoever else they want to kind of throw in their way, and he can kind of go heel or babyface back and forth. But for the most part, he's just going to be just kind of a badass babyface.
Yeah. Let me ask you this, because Rick has this theory. Now, I didn't agree with it, but I guess I could see where it's coming from. He thought that all the changes to the Survivor Series card was due to the fact that Jericho was going to Wrestle Kingdom to fight Kenny Omega. So do you feel that they did all these last-minute changes to the card because of that, or is it just no, they don't care about Survivor Series enough to change it up? They worry more about WrestleMania as opposed to Wrestle Kingdom.
Well, yeah, they're not worried about what Jericho's up to. They did this to the card because they were not having ticket sales the way that they wanted it. Because Survivor Series is kind of a destination event, and they have to sell tickets for not just the Survivor Series show, but it's for the whole weekend. So you're really trying to sell out 3 shows in a row at the same venue 4 shows in a row at the same venue in the same city. So they wanted to put as much star power as they possibly could on the show. And whenever they were not getting the ticket sales that they wanted, that's when you started adding Cena, you added Triple H, you gave them the Brock Lesnar AJ Styles match, and you went for that kind of a monster show that they should have done in the beginning, but they really only did it whenever they were not getting the sales that they wanted.
But isn't that due to people looking at what New Japan is doing, what ROH is doing, and being like, well, why do I have to really do that for that whole weekend whenever I get all these premier talent for their shows? I mean, it's kind of hand in hand because it's at the same time, no?
No, I'm a fan of what New Japan is doing, but I think that they will get a very small percentage of the audience that the WWE is going to get. I don't think that they're that worried about it. And that many people are not going to be traveling to Japan to go watch that.
Well, no, I'm not saying that, but buys, though. They're going to be looking at it because they're looking at buys here in how many people buy it here in the United States as compared to people who are going to watch it.
Right, you're talking about the WWE Network, right?
Exactly. Like they're looking at it more like people aren't excited about this pay-per-view. Like we have to do something. Yeah, obviously ticket sales have a lot to do with it. They probably saw it but it's just general excitement of the pay-per-view because you looked at everybody because on my Twitter feed everybody was comparing the two cards. Everybody was looking at it dude, we're more excited about New Japan than we are. Why are we even going to invest any time in Survivor Series when we don't care about any of these champions? It had nothing to do with what they wanted.
Yeah, most the vast majority of the audience doesn't care what's going on in New Japan, and that's just New Japan might sell 10,000 subscriptions to New Japan World for this. And they're trying to get it on. They're trying to get it on pay-per-view. Yeah, they're trying to get it on pay-per-view, which it's as of right now they're not. The plan is to not have it on pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Chris Jericho himself is the one trying to get it to be on pay-per-view because he knows he's going to maximize his profits that way. Mm-hmm. But as of right now, it's New Japan World, and I think out of any of us, Fredo's probably the only one that has a subscription, and I don't have one because I don't know how to use it.
Yeah.
Everything is in kanji, and I can't. Even when you do the Google Translate,
and I only
it's
know
still
Mandarin.
right, and it's still difficult to operate.
Yeah.
And so there was, and another reason why they had this monster push is because you can do a one-time buy for the WWE Network for single events for $25.
Yeah.
And DirecTV also picked up Survivor Series.
Yeah.
And they were selling it because DirecTV had dropped WWE completely. Well, they brought it back. But WWE is not worried about New Japan. They just had the biggest quarter of revenue in their history ever this last quarter.
And it only
and so they're not worried about that at all.
Yeah, and they knew it. I mean, they had to let Jericho go over there. So this is all part of a plan. Now, they're trying to woo Kenny Omega. This is what this is all about, man. They're not worried about Survivor Series against Wrestle Kingdom. This is one of the big four, but it's just whatever.
I wasn't saying against them, literally. I'm just talking.
You said it was a fight to the death.
No, I'm saying people were the talk of wrestling fans from what on my Twitter feed was the hype of New Japan's what is the world whatever. There was more hype on that pay-per-view than there was on Survivor Series. People were more excited about it, so I think that's my thing. I wasn't saying they're worried about buys or
they were
worried
stealing
about
the buzz.
Yeah, they were more.
Okay.
It was more about the talk, the headlines. People were more worried about the headlines of New Japan rather than what was going on with Survivor Series, and I think that's why they did it. Not worried about buys, not worried about numbers, not worried about anything that had to do with dollars or cents.
They wanted to be trendy.
They wanted to be the ones in the news.
I just that's
all I
trust
meant.
Me, they care far more about ticket sales, which adds to their bottom line, than they do about trending on Twitter.
Yeah,
guaranteed.
Vince doesn't give a shit about anybody. What he does is what he does, and that's all he cares about.
Yeah,
that's what I'm thinking. All right, so let's get to it. Survivor Series. You watched it, obviously.
Yep.
What disappointed you the most about this card?
The main event I thought was horrendous. I know Joe was on our Twitter feed last night, and he went on this huge rant that I still haven't read all the way because it was 10 tweets in a row, just about how terrible it was. But yeah, I didn't like how Shinsuke Nakamura and Bobby Roode were they were beaten immediately. I think Shinsuke got a little bit of offense, but Roode got nothing, and then they were kind of killed off. And then John Cena, it's why did he even come back?
Yeah.
He came in, he got a few moves. I think he pinned Samoa Joe with some help from Samoa Joe's own teammates. And then he just got beat like it was nothing. And then so you got, Randy Orton and Shane McMahon against their entire team. And the fact that Shane McMahon, Randy Orton, and then you had Triple H and Kurt Angle, Braun Strowman, obviously, as kind of the last guys. It was just kind of, that'd be great in 2002. But in 2017, I thought maybe, I'm not this guy that really gives a shit about pushing younger talent, but you do need to, have some fresh faces in that main event scene. And Kurt Angle, God love him, but he was having some issues last night. He was struggling with some of his moves, and he got squashed with the pedigree out of nowhere for no reason. So I don't know. And I'm not really that interested in the stories coming out of Survivor Series with that main event. Like, I don't really care about a Shane McMahon Triple H feud. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Or him and Kurt Angle, like, it's going to be at WrestleMania probably, and it's like, who cares about that? I could actually get behind Braun and Triple H just because I think it would be cool to see him beat the hell out of him, but I don't know when they would feed him up to him. Like, is that 2 years in the making? Because you don't waste that match at any other pay-per-view other than WrestleMania. So I don't understand what they're doing there with that whole thing. Yeah, I was disappointed in that match as well. I didn't tell you the truth. I didn't think it should have ended the show. I went into that thing thinking that it was going to be Brock and AJ. It had to be. I mean, like it's your two champions. Why are you not having them close the show?
That match had the most buzz around it, and it was the least built of the matches. Like they only really did a 2-week build because this whole time we were thinking it's going to be Jinder. But yeah, I would have loved for that to have been the last match. And despite a couple of botched moves on Brock's part, I think there was like a tornado DDT that I think he just got tired and threw AJ off when he was supposed to actually do it. And then another one where he was gonna clothesline AJ over the rope, and AJ was supposed to like duck, but Brock just kind of jumped over him. It was so weird.
Yeah.
But other than those two moves, I thought that was by far the best match on the show.
Yeah.
And was an instant classic, and those guys really worked well together. I just kind of felt bad for AJ. He took a beating the entire time, but then, Brock sold his ass off for him.
Yeah.
I thought that was an excellent match.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I thought that was. It was better than I expected it to be. I kind of had this feeling in the back of my head that they were going to do a squash job on AJ, and that was one of the reasons I didn't want it to happen. But they played it out right.
I tell you what. I thought that too, and I was on edge the entire match, thinking that Brock was just going to finish it. Yeah. So, we hate the matches that Brock's been having lately because they're usually just squash matches in 5 minutes.
And he has my stamina.
That fact added to this match because you thought it could end at any moment. You know?
Yeah.
And it sucks. The Samoa Joe match sucked and the Braun Strowman match sucked. But I think because of how he beat those guys in those matches, it really added to the suspense of this match. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah. So am I wrong? I before the pay-per-view started, I thought the Bar and the Usos were going to be the match of the night, and I really do feel like that was the best match of the night. It didn't have the biggest names in it, but I thought they put on the best show.
I thought that they did have a really good match. I honestly, I thought the best one was Brock and AJ because I was on the edge of my seat the whole time. And AJ hit some really cool moves. The Bar and the Usos was really good, and I thought the Shield and New Day was really good too. So I think, if you say either of those three matches were the best, I wouldn't argue.
Yeah. And any thoughts on the women's matches? That 5-on-5 was terrible. Asuka came out looking good, which, I mean, we all knew that going into it, that it had to be Asuka last person standing. I mean, she's the badass. Yeah. There's no Charlotte on the other side. They had a bunch of people that they could just run through and be okay with it. There was no suspense to that match. Plus, they were botching every other damn move. It was terrible.
Yeah, I think I set the over-under at 5 botched moves, and I'm pretty sure we hit the over on that one.
You could have set that higher.
Yeah, it was absolutely terrible, and I kind of come off as sexist apparently whenever I talk about the women's matches. But even the ones that are really good, even they're sloppy as shit.
Yeah.
It's just. And I had this argument with Joe. I was like, I think you guys are setting your standards a lot lower to meet your expectations for their matches, and I'm not willing to do that. So those matches are terrible. I didn't like any of it. It all sucked.
It's more
honestly, Natalya and Asuka was okay, but even then I didn't think that was that good.
Yeah. I agree with you when you say it. And I know you're not coming from a bad place when you say it, because when I heard you say it the first time, I was like, I get what you're saying, but if a woman heard this or someone who's really into women's wrestling heard this, you're going to catch some shit. And I was like, here comes Gilbert Drama number 2 on Twitter. And but I totally get what you're saying, man.
Yeah, well, thankfully only 30 people listen to the show, so it's not that big of a deal. I can say whatever I want.
It only takes one, man. It only takes one. But yeah, I get what you're saying, and you can't really come out and say it loud. I know you don't care about the backlash, obviously, with Baron Corbin, using your military card and all that, but that's another story. But Yeah, man, I'm with you on it. When they do better than I expected them to do, that's when they get some praise out of it. But, I mean, it's just a hard product to watch, and I'm glad that they're doing it for people and people really enjoy it. But it's hard to watch women's wrestling, man.
Yeah, it could be really difficult, especially when, they're on the same show as some of the guys, like, that are having these amazing matches,
Yeah. So, how do you feel? I'm really disappointed in this. How do you feel about your boy Baron Corbin going over on The Miz?
I was disappointed in it too. I really just don't see a whole lot in the guy. I think The Miz is the bigger star and has the more upside, but I think because they knew how they were going to do the main event where they were going to have Raw win and they're going to make Braun Strowman look strong, they had to get at least 3 SmackDown victories. And that just happened to be one of them. And Miz loses all the time, and he always comes back. So it was on my who gives a shit, because really, who gives a shit who won or lost that match?
Yeah. Baron Corbin, man, what a waste of fucking air. Right? I mean, the guy can't cut a promo at all. His matches are boring as hell.
Yeah, when he's trying to cut a promo on The Miz, it's like throwing rocks at a tank.
Yeah.
The Miz is just so far above and beyond better than this guy. And I know that he played a lot of football and he did some boxing, so maybe he's got some CTE, but the guy can't really form a sentence. He's got negative charisma. I just kind of feel bad for the guy, because they have these expectations that he's just never going to meet.
Yeah. I think the highlight of that match was his entrance in that sign that said Balding Corbin. Like, that was probably the highlight of that match for me. But yeah, how many stars in? I know you guys do your stars rating. Survivor Series, summed up, how many stars out of 5?
Out of 5, I would go, because there's 3 really good matches on it, probably 3.5.
Yeah. I guess
because,
I can live with that.
I would say Brock and AJ was probably 4 or above. Shield and New Day 4 or above, and then the Bar versus the Usos was 4 and above.
Yeah.
So you got those 3 really good matches, and then it's not like the Miz and Corbin match was bad. It was just kind of there.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, I took a shit during that match, and I followed along on Twitter. So it didn't really hurt me too much that match happened to be on. And then during the women's one, I actually cleaned the kitchen. So that also, like, I kind of caught some of the botched moves, and then you see the GIFs on Twitter. So, wasn't too offended by it. It was an enjoyable night.
So wait, hold on. Before you went to go do the kitchen, did you say, well, I guess it's time for me to go do some women's work during this women's match?
Yeah. No, if they're doing the men's work, I'll do the women's work, right?
But did the end of it save it for you? Like, yeah, the last match was a disaster, but was Braun choke slamming Triple H? Like, did that save that end for you? Like, was that all right? Did that justify that shitty, the shitty countdown to it?
No, because I just don't know where they're going with it. Yeah. Honestly, I would have been happier had SmackDown been up like 4-1, and then Braun Strowman beat 4 guys in a row by killing them. I would have been happy with that.
Yeah.
I'm okay with Braun pinning Nakamura and pinning John Cena and Bobby Roode and all those guys, because I think he's the guy. I think that he is going to draw you the money. I just don't like the way that they did it and the kind of the order that they did it in. But I don't work in wrestling. I'm just saying that this is, in my head, I would have rather seen something different.
Well, I mean, I was saying Cena should have gone first. Like, he was just like that throwing guy. Like, it would be funny if he came in with no bearing on it, and then they just pin him and he's done real quick. Like, that would have made more sense for me.
No, dude, John Cena's still a draw. He's still the biggest draw in that company.
But yeah, it would have been more funny for me. It's kind of sad it was sad the way that they even treated him last night. Because I honestly think that if they did a Samoa Joe John Cena feud and they did it until Mania, I think that draws you a lot of money.
They teased us with that too.
Raw, yeah, and whenever that's the match that's being booked for Madison Square Garden next month is Joe and Cena. They actually trained together back in the day, so I see them working really well together. There's no reason to kill off John Cena, the guy.
Yeah.
If you look at that audience,
it wouldn't be to kill him off. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, he's past the point where you could do that to him, where you could have all these guys, like, he's the first guy to get eliminated, but you're not killing him because he's John Cena.
Well, yeah, but then, there's a lot of children in that audience that are awfully disappointed.
Yeah. I thought to further the Kurt Angle story, they should have eliminated him first. To add to the Stephanie whole little thing like that. Yeah, they won. He still keeps his job. Triple H somehow gets rid of him. Get rid of Kurt Angle early. That was my thought. Didn't happen. We got that shit show. We're all disappointed in it. It is what it is.
Yeah, none of it worked. None of it worked.
There was nowhere to go with that. There was nobody that you could point out and say, yeah, this person needs to go first.
And then you had Jason Jordan on the side.
They should have had him out there just sitting in the front row crying.
Well, yeah, I was thinking that he would turn heel and cost Raw the match.
Yeah,
and then they would do like a Triple H and Kurt Angle feud, or Triple H or a Angle and Jason Jordan. I don't want to see that at WrestleMania. I don't think you waste a Kurt Angle match on. A WrestleMania Kurt Angle match on Jason Jordan.
Royal Rumble?
Yeah, they do something like that at Royal Rumble or one of those sideshows.
Yeah, for sure. You don't do that there. Not Jason Jordan. He couldn't carry that.
The one in between Royal Rumble and WrestleMania.
Yeah, between Royal Rumble.
Right.
All right. Why don't you let people know how they can listen to your show?
Yeah, you can check us out on iTunes and on SoundCloud, also on YouTube whenever I do get a chance to upload it. I didn't do that this past weekend. A little busy in the Gilbert household, but I will get all that stuff done this week. And you can check us out on gtppodcast.com. You can follow us on Twitter @thepodexpress. And like, subscribe, review, do all that shit, man. Make us popular.
Yeah. I got a prediction.
Yo.
Jinder gets the championship back. Braun steals it from him. Jinder can't get it back, so he brings the great Khali. Khali versus Braun at WrestleMania.
Oh, no, dude.
don't put that evil in the world.
Yeah, dude, no, we need to edit that out of the show. And for some reason, Vince, because you already see that gif of Vince when he's
getting excited.
Yeah. No, Fredo, you're stupid, man.
Yeah, cut that.
All right, man. Hey, thanks for joining us. You got all this information. Go follow these guys. Give them a listen, and they do good work over there. And hey, thanks for having us on. Thanks for being with us like shit.
All right, man. Take it easy.
You too.
Take care, man.
All right, see ya.
All right, so that's some good info right there. SummerSlam. See, I'm all over the place now. It's time to end it. We're way past. I said 30 minutes. We're at 52 minutes. Yeah. So that's going to do it for us this week. Be on the lookout for this Thanksgiving edition GTP FanDuel contest. We'll be putting that out. Be on the lookout. Start sneakies on gtppodcast.com. Listen to us on iTunes. And that's going to do it for us. So for Rick and for Fredo.
Ferdo.
Dude, I'm all over the place right there. The coffee's kicking in that I had before I came. And thanks for tuning in.
Bye.
Listen next week and we'll try and do better.
Bye.
Bye.
Cookie.